Welcome back to Wandering into Wellness, everybody.
Hello.
Nice to see you again. Finn and Lydia here as usual. And today we are very excited to be joined by Jo Woodhurst, in-house nutritionist to Ancient and Brave.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm kind of enjoying the heat a little bit, actually. It's quite nice to have this summer.
Once you're well set up for it, it all works out, doesn't it? Once you're doing the hydrating thing, once you're not silly about your sun exposure, sun is beautiful. And once you know as well that it's a season, once it's not like you're not in Arizona, you're not kind of like, when's the rain going to come? Like, if the rain's going to come, it's Ireland, it's England, we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So, other than the weather, we are here today to talk about collagen, right? And me and you did a little Instagram live a while back where we talked a little bit into collagen, but we kind of kept it more on the surface, knowing that we would do this deeper dive into that later on. And so we're really excited to have you on. Both of us are kind of nerdy big fans. We both take collagen all the time. But I guess for us, the questions that we get a lot are things like, well, why do we really need collagen? Like, what's changed in our diet now that means that collagen isn't there in the way that it used to be?
Yeah, I mean, so it's really important to understand that collagen is so important to our body, first of all. So it is one of the most abundant proteins in the body. It's found everywhere. It's what gives our body structure. So we eat a lot differently to how we used to do in the past and how our ancestors used to eat. They used to eat a lot of nose to tail eating most of the time. And at the moment, if you eat meat, which not everybody does now, if you eat meat, most people tend to eat more muscle meat. And collagen is actually found in those kind of fattier cuts of meat, so meat on the bone or in the skin. And that tends to be discarded or not even thought about in a lot of people's diets. So you've already got that first kind of level of people not eating enough collagen. Then there's another level of all the other things that support collagen production, like vitamin C. Are people eating enough plants and vitamin C to be able to support that collagen production and use those amino acids? And then, like I mentioned, not everybody does eat meat anymore. So we have a massive rise now in vegan diets and plant-based diets. And if not well managed, if not well balanced, they might not be getting the right amino acids to be making the collagen as well. And then on top of that, we also have our modern living where, I spoke about, I'm loving having a bit of sun at the moment, but sun exposure can degrade our collagen in our skin and within our body, smoking, habits like that, being around pollution, all of these things, as well as just general aging, decrease your collagen and the quality of collagen in your body. So it's kind of several factors all working at the same time, meaning, well, how are we going to support collagen levels in the body? And that's where supplementation tends to come in.
So we have like big subsets of the population that are maybe not getting enough in their diet anyway, but collagen, your body does make collagen peptides from other things, right? From other amino acids, or from like it can build most collagens up. So like who I suppose would be who really needs collagen as a supplement, would you say? Like where, like I know we talk about healthy aging, is that the major kind of thing, or where do you guys in Ancient Brave really see the kind of like the main bracket of people that you guys can help with collagen?
Okay, so most people will need some collagen at some point. Our body, it's used throughout the body, and like you said, protein made up of amino acids, and collagen is a type of protein. Those amino acids then create new collagen structures within the body. So you can, yes, your body can make collagen itself, but it's better with a collagen supplement because the ratios of amino acids that you find in collagen supplements are so specific to creating collagen, it just makes it easier for the body to do. So who benefits most? I mean, the aging population, because from the age of 20 onwards, your process of collagen starts to slow down. So you're not creating as much collagen. Then by the age of 40 onwards, especially in women as well, because we have a bit of a link with our estrogen levels and collagen, we tend to find that the body isn't creating enough collagen for what it needs anymore. And on top of that, the quality of the collagen that's in the body when you age as well it's not as good, it's quite poor. So you've got a poor quality collagen and less is being made. So people who are aging, which is most people tend to need a bit of collagen. But then you've got other people as well. So postnatally, you might be changing size again. So your body's having to repair. That's a really good time to have some collagen in there as well. People who have they are needing to repair, or they've been a bit ill. Those kind of things are really important, and collagen is a really good thing to put in there. People who are looking at gut healing, because there's lots of amino acids that support gut healing and collagen. So it kind of does hit a lot of different health goals in different ways. It's one of those supplements, unlike, say, a specific vitamin or mineral, which most people are going to benefit from for some reason.
Yeah, you spoke about the relationship between estrogen and collagen, and the bone density, I think, is a big factor, right? So does collagen actually contribute to bone density or bones? Because I know collagen is mostly found at the ends of the bones where you're growing new bone, isn't that right?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people forget that bones are living tissues. You know, most people see them as these kind of fossils that we see in museums, and we're kind of these walking empty fossils, but it's not true. That they're a living tissue, and collagen makes up about 60% of bone. So when you start to see collagen degrade in the body, then part of that is through your bone as well, making it brittle and less healthy. So yeah, collagen is a really, really big part of bone health and improving your bone health as well. And that's where a lot of the studies have been shown to support collagen growth within that area as well.
So there are studies linking bone density and collagen consumption. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
good.
there are.
Yeah.
A lot of studies within collagen are still in their infancy. So I think we're going to see a real boom in them in the next sort of 10 or so years. We're going to really see how much it can support. So at the moment, we're seeing small studies. We are seeing human studies, so that's really exciting. But there's not a whole sort of range of huge ones yet, but they're coming.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just so nutrition, you're like nerd. So one of the studies that I read, I think 2016 study, was around athletes using it for repair, and they did muscle biopsies and showed that when, I think it was 16 grams of collagen was taken 30 minutes or 45 minutes before that specific training of that specific limb where the damage had occurred, they found that increased blood supply was actually bringing collagen peptides to that site.
Right.
So
yeah.
16 grams is a lot of collagen. So, and that's one of the things with study references, like when we talk, like, because I read studies a fair bit. I mean, I don't know how much of them I understand, but I certainly understand the dosages that they're using, which are far higher than what we're usually consuming. So can you speak to us about how much people could be using or should be using or are going to see a benefit from? Like, is it the case that somebody with thinning bones just takes the daily serving for the rest of their life? Do they cycle on and off it? Do they go through peak or loading those things? I'm always interested, like something I talk to our customers about a lot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think using it at a time when you really need it is going to be beneficial. I see the most benefit, though, from just using it consistently, giving that body some consistent top up all the time is going to be really helpful, because essentially they are amino acids that are going to get broken down and then used where the body needs it the most. So collagen that you take doesn't directly go as that collagen to that place in the body. It's going to be broken down and used elsewhere. So you do want to be keeping that in mind. So you're topping up your amino acid stores and trusting the body to be able to use it where it's going to be utilized the most as well. So I do think under times of, when your body's under stress, or like I mentioned, postnatally, things like that, it is good to kind of up your dose a little bit. But there's nothing to say that huge amounts of collagen has more benefit.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting just listening to you talk there, because I don't know as much about nutrition as either of you guys do. I just know little bits from learning along the way. But I certainly found that when we were talking a lot about protein powder and working with a protein powder brand for a while, it was really interesting to hear that people had this notion about protein, which was like, it's just for people who go to the gym and they want to bulk up, and it's kind of for men. And we were constantly re-educating people and going, no, it's like all growth, all repair, all healing comes from this, and it's really good for people who are elderly. It's really, like, people would often have that misconception, it's just people going to the gym taking their smoothie shake and that's the only people who need it, as opposed to like pregnant women, women in postnatal periods. And it seems like with collagen, almost the inverse is happening, where people are like, most women know about collagen now because they're like put the collagen stuff on the skin, take it in because we want to look after our skin. And there's this kind of like general, not in the kind of nerdy nutrition circles, but general population thing that like collagen is for women.
It's a women's thing. I know. It's fun.
And actually listening to you talk, it's like there's actually so much similarity between the two. So it's almost like both of those things need to get re-educated. But also a question I had on top of that is, then is it beneficial, like if you're taking protein, do you need to take collagen? And if you take them together, does that maximize the benefits, or how does that work?
Yeah. So like you said, protein is, I think personally, it's one of the most underrated of the macronutrients, because unless you're working out a lot, or unless you're really into health and wellness, a lot of people I see personally in clinic aren't getting enough. Absolutely not getting enough, and not because they're trying to build muscle, or not because they're trying to work on how they look. It's because it's not meeting their neurotransmitters, they're not able to think properly, it's affecting their mood. It's all of the things that protein doesn't often get talked about that people are missing it for. So yeah, I think a protein powder is a really great thing to have in your cupboard, and to use, not just for muscle building or however it's kind of marketed to be used. But on top of that, collagen, like I mentioned, it has a specific ratio of amino acids. So specifically the top three, glycine, proline, hydroxyproline, are in really quite large amounts, which you don't get in a protein powder. And that's really significant because that's what the body's going to be able to use to create new collagen. So it's all about the ratios. That's what you've got to be thinking about. Amino acids are really, really interesting, and diving into what different amino acids do in the body is super, super interesting. But ultimately, it's how these amino acids work together in synergy to then create new structures or repair or do whatever they need to do in the body. So yeah, I think personally, it's great to have both of them. And that's something that I do personally. I love a bit of movement and exercise, but I wouldn't say that I'm a massive gym bunny or anything like that. And I have protein powder regularly. I have my collagen every day. And yeah, I really, really notice the benefits.
Yeah, good idea probably to mix them or to spread them out from one meal to another in terms of amino acid receptors and stuff, isn't it though?
Yeah, oh yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because we have a limited amount of uptake. So that's why they say like anything over 30 grams of protein or something like that in a meal, most people aren't really going to get much from it. So when you're seeing even protein shakes with whopping amounts more than that, even protein bars sometimes these days with more than that, which is insane. Yeah, the amount that your body's actually get, there's a rate limiting effect there. Your body can't take up more than that, so it's spreading them out.
And I think it's worth kind of talking a little bit, like just to highlight what you just said there about most people not getting enough protein. We did analytic.
I wasn't sure if you were going to talk about this. Great.
What's it called?
We did Nutritics. Yeah, Nutritics analysis.
Did a Nutritics analysis.
Oh yeah.
My diet. And I am a meat eater. I've never been a vegetarian, and I don't eat like crazy amounts of meat, but I eat what I would consider to be too much. Like I would always be thinking myself, like I just want to limit that a little bit. My protein intake is probably too high. I also take protein powder as well. So I was thinking my protein is and it wasn't. It was like low. And I was amazed at that. And I think also, so our concept of how much protein we're actually getting from the meals that we're eating is probably really skewed in our heads. And it's also, as far as I understand it, a little bit to do with like the quality the protein source that we have now. So it's not the same as like looking at our parents' generation and going, yeah, well, you eat your meat from your cow that was in your garden and la la la. It's like, how is that digestion? How is that being affected globally by our environment? How much are we actually absorbing? And then how much is actually bioavailable in the foods that we're eating as well, right?
Totally. And think about what a lot of the proteins are packaged with as well. We often, with a lot of plant proteins, we'll go, okay, I've had my lentils, but what else is packaged within that lentils? There's other macronutrients in there. There's other vitamins and minerals in there. So it's just, I think people ticking off protein sources in their head as they go through the day, they go, oh, I've ticked off my protein for the day. How much is actually there? And like you said, absorption is huge. As we age, that becomes a huge issue, absorbing protein, because our stomach acid lowers, our enzymes lower that help to break down the protein. So how much are you actually taking on board? It's really big, which is where things like collagen and protein powders, which have the peptides, which make it really easy for you to absorb and digest, is really kind of important and key there as well.
Yeah.
And stress as well, right? Because you just mentioned that there a little bit, like so many of us have chronic stress issues, especially after the last couple of years. And stress affects our skin. We know that when we were talking about that, when we were chatting earlier. And that shows up often as, you know, lowered collagen levels, lowered elastin production, how our skin looks. But it's also about like our production of that stuff as well. So the stress is affecting it on both of those levels. And having adequate amount of those things can help us with those problems as well, right? So even if we're getting it, we're probably having degradation of those things by the amount of stress that we have in our lives sort of generally.
Yeah, it's just part of the big picture, isn't it? Really, you've got to take it as that. It's part of the puzzle that you're having to put together. So there's other things that you have to do to be able to support your health. It's not going to be, there's no such thing as a silver bullet or the magic pill that's going to make everything magically better. It's about creating a lifestyle or something that you can follow that has all these extra little bits in, that's going to make life a bit easier for you to be living healthily for as long as possible.
One of the things that I love about collagen is that because it actually has effects in combating stress, right? In terms of like is it the glycine content or whatever? So like, could you speak to us a little bit about that neurotransmitter and the sleep thing and all that relationship?
Yeah, sure. So again, the studies about mood health and collagen are within their infancy. They're quite small, but they're promising, what we're seeing so far. So that is because of the amino acid glycine, which is in quite high amounts in collagen. So about one serving of collagen, I think it creates about 2 or 3 grams of glycine. Is a really nice inhibitory neurotransmitter. So it kind of calms us, it relaxes us, it gets us ready for sleep, basically. So it's been seen to improve sleep when you take it just before bed. Yeah,
so particularly when people are like so focused on like alertness things, when like caffeine is such a big thing, blue light, phones, all those things that are like dopaminergic things that are like just stimulant, which is going right up until like, oh, it's 10:15 and I'm going to bed and it's 10:20. You're like, hang on. And your body just has to go, sudden shift, we'll be done. Yeah. So it's really like, it's one of the ways that we talk about it a lot and where we use it as well, putting collagen powder into warm milk with cocoa. You have that lovely blend you have with the cocoa ashwagandha collagen thing, which I think is lovely for that support as well, right?
Yeah, that's one of my favourite blends that we have, the cacao and collagen, because although it just says cacao and collagen in the name, it has so much more in there. So it has the ashwagandha, which is a beautiful adaptogen, really helps us with stress resilience, helps just to balance us. And then obviously you've got the collagen in there with the glycine, so that's really going to help you to relax and sleep. And then cacao as well, it's just so beneficial with all the magnesium in there, again, which is a real relaxing mineral. So it's a great one for the evening. I love it. I think it's delicious.
And what is the age? Because I know with protein powder is also really useful for kids and it can be really helpful because they're in this massive period of growth. Is collagen also good for kids, or is there a certain age at which? Is it just 20 when it starts to tail off? Or what's the age that you think it should be?
Yeah, I mean, we'd always have collagen within our diets, no matter what age we are. So ancestrally, it was always going to be there. In terms of supplementing it, it's not going to do any harm. There's no studies to say that it's going to be really, really beneficial either. But thinking sort of what the process would be, I would tend to put it in after the age of 20, just to make sure that, it's nice and safe and you're getting the right amounts. I think you could probably have a little bit here and there in your younger years. Again, depending what's going on for you, if you've got some wound healing that needs to happen, or you suddenly go through a massive growth spurt of something, you might want to add a little bit more and have it more cyclical.
I was sharing a post yesterday by, I think it's called Nourish the Littles on Instagram. She was making bone broth ice pops, ice lollies for kids, which is like, there's so many smart ways if you do want to use those types of things for kids. Bone broth obviously being a source of collagen as well as lots of other things. But it's a really, the lovely thing, actually, one of the lovely things I find about collagen is the amount of things you can integrate it into. Like it's flavorless. It just dissolves. It just makes things kind of creamier and better. And it's like one of the most magic ingredients to kind of, because you can cook with it. You can do all sorts of things, right?
Yeah, it's great. And I think one of the misconceptions with collagen is that it's not going to survive heat. But actually, when they've tested it, it survives heat up to 300 degrees. So, that's more than you're going to find in a kitchen, basically. So, yeah, you can.
Just sprinkle them on top of my pizza. That's amazing. So how do you use it yourself? What's your favorite way? We've talked about it a lot, but I'm interested to see, like, because you're obviously embalmed almost amongst collagen things behind you there.
Just pick and choose every day. So I think, I mean, with any supplementation, you're going to see the best results when you take it consistently. So it's about people making it fit into their lifestyle. So doing something that you already do every day. And for me, it's my morning coffee. I've got a very small child. I never forget my morning coffee. So I take it every day with my coffee, and with usually a bit of MCT oil. I quite like medicinal mushrooms, so I take some lion's mane or chaga at the same time, mix it all together, and it's delicious, lovely coffee. And like you say, it completely dissolves. So if for some reason, I don't know why I would forget my coffee, I would probably take it with me out and about. I've got sachets as well, so it makes it really easy to use.
Nice.
And what's your personal history with collagen? Like, how did you get involved with Ancient and Brave, and how did you become like such a super fan of collagen specifically?
Super fan, yeah, I am a bit. So collagen, I've had quite a long history with collagen actually. I discovered it a while back, years ago, and kind of stumbled across it in my nutritional kind of studies and looking at other brands and supplements, things like that. I thought, I'll give this a go. It sounds like something that I'd like to taste or take. And I wasn't able to find something that I thought was really amazing. I found one brand, and I'm not going to name any other brands here, but I found one brand and I thought this will do, but it did have a fishy smell and a fishy taste. It just did. And I, as a nutritionist, will taste a lot of bad things and just eat it or drink it anyway. I just, it's fine. My green smoothies are pretty gross to the taste for most people, but I know it's good for me, so I'll take it. And I was taking that for a while. I was trying to get a few of my clients on it as well, because it was really going to help some of their health goals. A lot of them would buy it, but they weren't going to sort of keep buying it because it just wasn't meeting that taste.
Compliance. God damn it, compliance.
Yeah, right. And then I'd discovered Ancient and Brave when they first started out, actually, just because as a brand, I just loved them. I just thought, wow, what a great brand to be able to marry together sustainability, ancestral health, and really potent, great ingredients. Amazing. And then when I tried their collagen, I was just sold. I was totally sold, because it was tasteless, it was odorless, it was easy to use, it was easy to get clients on as well. It looks great, which, shouldn't be at the top of the list in terms of supplements at all, but it really does help in terms of putting it into your kitchen, making it look nice in shops. It's lovely. And then, so we've been in touch a little bit. I said, what a great fan I was of them, and we just ended up chatting a bit more in depth, and they reached out and said, we'd love to chat a bit further. And here I am working as their in-house nutritionist, and yeah, it's a joy, really.
So can you talk to us a little bit about like where that collagen is coming from with Ancient and Brave? Because I think it's good for people to understand what the actual collagen is, where the whole process, like it's.
Yeah. So we have two main animal derived collagens. So we have our marine collagen, which is called our wild collagen. So that's our newest product that we have. And we have our bovine one, which is true collagen. So true collagen is sourced within the EU. It's sustainably sourced from grass-fed cows, which is really, really important. And we use the hide of the cows. And again, that's important too, because it's regenerated. So it's a better source of collagen. It's a cleaner source of collagen. And for our marine collagen, our wild collagen, it's from the North Atlantic. It's from wild caught fish. And as far as I know, we're the only supplement company that do wild caught collagen. Wow. And that's really important as well, because the diets of wild caught fish are different to other farmed fish, and that's going to affect the quality of the skin that we use. Both products are sustainable, because where we're getting the collagen from would normally be thrown away. So we're able to tick that sustainability box as well. So we're using a waste product really in a really amazing way. So yeah, I think that's both of the different types of collagen we have.
Hands up at the back, hands up at the back.
What's the difference, right?
Oh my God.
I, for example, can't have the fish collagen because I can't eat any fish or shellfishy things.
Right.
But for a general person who can eat fish and also meat, why would you choose one over the other? Which would be more suitable for different people?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's one we get asked a lot, actually. So usually, this is not talking about Ancient Brave, usually a bovine collagen will have type 1 and type 3 collagen, and marine will have only type 1. In both of our products, we've only used type 1 collagen. And the reason being is it's the most abundant collagen in the body. So it's going to be better used and utilised within the body as well. So in terms of benefits, there's not an awful lot of difference. It's mainly meeting you where you're at in your kind of personal preference. And that's something that Ancient and Brave are really keen to do. We're not going to prescribe, you know, what diet you should be on or what you should be having to do. We want to meet you where you're at and make sure that we've got the right product for you to use. And that's really why we've got the two different ones. So in terms of benefits, where it's going to hit you in, you know, in skin health, joint health, bone health, all of those things, they're both very similar. I think statistically, marine collagen has been seen more in skin studies, so skin benefit studies, because it's a slightly smaller molecule, but I think the difference is really, really small.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of marketing language that gets used around collagen. I like it's quite frustrating for us because when I was first introduced to collagen, when I first came across it, I don't know, 12 more years ago maybe, and they weren't great sources, like you say, and they didn't taste great. And at that point we were told that bovine collagen was the source for type 2 collagen, and the type 2 collagen is one you find in your cartilage and in your eyes, and that was the one you take if you wanted to look at joint stuff. And that, like you say, fish or like marine collagen was type 1 collagen and type 3, and that was specifically for skin. But all of it seems to be like very granular now, and like we have a lot of like marketing brochures coming through the doors that are like trying to like devise like too much division, I would say, between one, like just to get people to use them for a specific purpose, whether it's through iconography or whether it's through actual language. And like what you say, I think I like that, because I think it's a general like, just you need to hazy the vision a little bit. Enjoy it as part of a broad spectrum diet. If you can eat fish and meat, then have one month and have one the next. And I think that's really smart. I think that's a nice way to look at it. Yeah.
And what about vegans?
Yeah, problems.
So there are lots of people who are vegan, right? Yeah. And so
no cows, no fish. What are they going to do?
What are they going to do? You can't really get vegan collagen, can you?
So, yeah, technically speaking, plants don't create collagen, so we don't have a vegan collagen, but the vegan collagen that we create at Ancient and Brave is based around the amino acids that you would find in collagen. So we've given you amino acids that your body can use, a vegan version of those amino acids that your body can use. And we've also packaged ours in our 3 different blends with specific nutrients that you tend to find lacking in a vegan diet, things like choline, iodine, to really make sure that you're getting all the things that you need whilst you're on a vegan diet, as well as getting those amino acids that are specific to collagen as well. So yeah, technically there's not a vegan collagen, but you can kind of create one using the amino acids.
And are there studies that show vegans having more depletion of collagen in later life? Because I really haven't seen them. I'm really interested to see what's going on in later life with vegans. Is it the case that veganism is just too new? I know there's vegan population studies, but I've never seen them in relationship specifically to collagen or bone density or that sort of stuff. Have you?
No, do you know what? I haven't either, actually. That would be really interesting. That doesn't mean to say they're not out there. They may well be out there, but that's not something I have seen. Clinically, in my own clinic, it's something that I've seen a lot. And something that I can say anecdotally is definitely there. But yeah, I don't have the studies to back that up.
Interesting. Okay.
So were you saying, just to clarify that, are you saying that it's extra important for people who are on a vegan diet to supplement with collagen or collagen-like precursors?
Collagen with a Y, even in this case.
Collagen with a Y, the collagen-specific amino acids. So definitely, because a lot of the plants as well that you get, they just don't have that huge ratio of glycine, proline, hydroxyproline. It's just not there. So you're going to have to get it from somewhere. And without that, we're going to end up with a lot of degradation of collagen across the body, not just in our skin. You won't just see it in your skin and wrinkles. You'll see it in your joints. You won't be able to bounce back from injury as well. It's sort of systemic.
Yeah, fascinating. And so collagen goes specifically to where it's needed most, right? So one of the things I think that we talk about, particularly because, like you say, from a female marketing point of view, unfortunately, there's become like this obsessive, compulsive, almost disordered approach to collagen for skin health. But it's going to go to your bones if your bones need it more. It's going to go for your digestive system because your body treats your skin as kind of non-essential tissue. Well, certainly not the first port of call anyway, right?
Yeah, so yeah, if you need it somewhere else in your body that is essential to life, it's going to be better for your survival, it's going to go there first, which again comes back to why it's really important to making sure you're getting enough protein, because if your amino acids pool is good, you're going to be able to use that across the body, and the collagen's more likely to go somewhere like your skin. So yeah, I think it's dependent on what's happening for you personally in your health as to where the collagen is going to go. That doesn't mean to say that it's not worth taking though, because over time, as you build up this collagen, the collagen stores and you start to reproduce more, it's going to be easier for your body to put it where you actually want it to go. So yeah. That
makes sense, build up to a surplus. On that topic, and this is an opinion piece, I'm not expecting you to have like the last word on this, but I'd be really interested to hear what you think of collagen in a transdermal cream situation. What do you think of that? Like, is that a lot of hype?
Yeah, so collagen's a really big molecule. It's really big. So even in terms of digestion, that's why we've had to break it down into these hydrolyzed peptides, really, really tiny peptides that our body can absorb. Think about your skin and what your skin absorbs. Collagen's going to be too big, really. So unless you have a wound or something, which I'm not saying that you should buy a collagen cream for a wound, but we've seen in the medical world that they use collagen, and surgeons use collagen to promote wound healing. So in that respect, yes, I do think that it does work there. But in terms of sort of a cream, I would doubt that it's going to be as effective as taking it internally.
Good to hear that. Somebody who agrees with us on that front.
That's always my hunch, really.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we talked about this when we talked on Instagram, is like, you know, that skin health, it just has to come from within. Mm-hmm. This obsession we have with exercising our body and forgetting about exercising our face and thinking that we just put stuff on our face, but we exercise our body. It's just so bizarre. For me, obviously working in face yoga, that's like a big thing for me, but it has to come from inside. And I'm always saying that to my clients. It doesn't matter how many expensive creams you buy and put on your face. If your diet isn't good, if you don't have that foundational thing, and you don't have good wellness practices that are supporting your stress levels and making sure that you're breathing correctly and your diet is working for you, not against you, and you're actually absorbing those things and you're getting good sleep, your skin is never going to glow, no matter how much. And I would love it to be the case that you did face yoga every day and your skin's always really glowy, even though you drunk Coke and all day long. But it's just not the case. You just have to have those foundational things. And it seems like that's what you're saying as well, is ultimately the message is like little and often, like with all of our wellness practices, is better than just like boosting a load of collagen in at the end of some random.
So Coke, cigarettes and collagen cream is not the formula for a long life. I mean, what have we been doing all these years?
Saying something different. But I personally feel, as I approach my 40th year, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. So kind of little and often topping it up within the vehicle or the container of all these other wellness practices is the best way to take your collagen ultimately.
Totally. And I think, you know, part of the problem for a lot of people is that wellness has become so overcomplicated. So when you go online, when you go on social media, you've got a tick list of things to do every day. You've got to do this, that, the other, you know, pretty much all the things that you mentioned there is part of this big picture. And that can be so overwhelming for somebody who is new to wellness or doesn't know where to start. So the point of things like our collagen products is to make life really easy, really simple. You have a scoop in the morning, that's it. Don't do anything else. It mixes into drinks that you already drink. It's so simple. So it's not like you're having another thing that you have to add, another thing to put on your tick list. It's going to be super simple and it's going to benefit you. So, you know, I think it's all about stripping everything back. What's going to make you as healthy as possible, but make you not overwhelmed or feeling like you're getting everything wrong or going too extreme in one direction. I had a message today from somebody who reached out on Instagram who said, you know, I just don't know where to begin. I'm so overwhelmed. There's too much information out there. And she was actually asking for me to give a week's worth of, like do a video or something on a week's worth of what I eat. And I said, well, I don't do what I eat in a day because what I need is completely different to what you need. So I'm never ever going to do that. But what you need to do is just keep it really simple and stop trying to be perfect on Monday. And then by Friday, you've completely lost it and you think, and you don't do it anymore. So, you know, then binging over the weekend, and that's kind of cyclical cycle keeps happening. So it's all about stripping it back, making it simple and putting habits in there that you can do every day that isn't going to be overwhelming or add more pressure to our already really full lives.
Yeah, and I think it's ritual, isn't it? It's like finding simple rituals that they're not another thing that you're adding on, but there's something that's actually elevating your daily life. And I think Ancient and Brave do that so beautifully with their branding and with their literature and stuff, is that you're connecting into this ancient lineage. There's this understanding already of that kind of ancestral healing, that we've always had ritual around us, and that we've kind of lost ritual really and ceremony in our kind of modern lives, and wellness has become like a gym practice as opposed to like these beautiful moments of pause in our day. And I think, yeah, it'd be nice. I wonder, would you share maybe like your 3 little rituals that you do in the day, or 3 lovely moments of pause that you bring into your day?
Yeah. Do you know what? That it's so key. And rituals are something we're big on here at Ancient Brave, and something that I connected with instantly when we started talking about working together, because I agree with you. It's all about rituals and finding those micro doses of calm in your day. So I already mentioned one, which is my morning coffee. And I make it a ritual. So I get up before my daughter does. So I've got some quiet in the house, and I put my coffee on to brew. And while it's brewing, I have a 10-minute meditation. So that's locked in. Meditation that can pretty much say changed my life. I couldn't rate it any higher. I think it's so important, super important to my day anyway. So yeah, I make sure I've got my meditation done. By the time my coffee's finished brewing, then I can kind of make it and drink it in this sort of kind of calm moment in the day before the madness begins and my child wakes. And then I'd say another point in the day is I'm originally from Yorkshire. So, you know, you can take the girl out of Yorkshire, but having a cup of tea is still really high on my list. And I don't drink black tea anymore, although I, you know, occasionally do when I go back home. But I do have a herbal tea every day. And again, I really make myself do this. And it's really important, because I think we're rushing from place to place all the time. We'll switch on the kettle, and while the kettle's boiling, we might empty the dishwasher, or, you know, we'll go and finish that email. But instead, while the kettle's boiling, I stand next to the kettle. So, you know I'm taking my time, and that's when I practice some deep breathing. So that's always there. Always got my cup of herbal tea, practice a bit of deep breathing. It just lets me stop, even just for those few brief minutes. And I think it's something like 8 deep breaths, which can switch you from your sympathetic to your parasympathetic nervous system. So I kind of have that number in my head when I'm practicing that. And then I'd say my evening routine as well. I really like to step outside in an evening. So we're very lucky. We live near the beach, and when it's kind of a new one for me, actually. When my daughter was born, I kind of got used to being indoors a lot after 6, because, you know, you've got to get them to bed, and then bedtime routine's done, and then you end up being inside. So now, once she's in bed, I step outside the back and just take a few deep breaths, watch the sky for a little bit, just, you know, get used to that evening light, because light's so important to our health as well, and missing out on that sort of change in light and change in environment can kind of affect your sleep as well. So yeah, they're my main ones.
That's great. Those sound like very like ours, actually. Yeah. Really good. Yeah, nice, good things. Thank you so much for that, and yeah, thank you for sharing all of your own bits and your expertise, and thanks a million to Ancient and Brave as a brand as well for helping to put this together and linking us up. And so we better announce as well that we will have Ancient to Brave collagen, including their Radiant Vegan collagen, on special offer in our store on September, when we'll be launching this podcast just before that. So check out, look out for that. Also, just to say a brief thanks to our sponsor as well, Clear Light Saunas. We are also big believers in light therapy, and infrared obviously is such a healing thing. It's my biggest life-changing investment to get a Clear Light sauna, and that's why we went to work for them when we got them. So we want to be ambassadors for you because we talk about you all the time. And they're amazing. They're EMF free, and they're like, really, really powerful sauna. There's like a chromotherapy device inside as well. You can do all sorts of amazing things. You can do yoga inside your sauna, all sorts of beautiful things. So if you want to get a Clear Light sauna, if you're ready to think about investing in it, come and contact us, DM us, or find us wanderingintowellness@gmail.com or the wanderingintowellnessproject.com. Also, another way you can help to support us is by purchasing some of our beautiful merch, our new merch, our organic t-shirts, hoodies, jumpers, sweatshirts, and vest tops. And that's another way that we're trying to keep the ship afloat, because obviously all of this thing takes all of the energy, and we all need it to provide some source of income as we go. And we thank everybody for liking, subscribing, commenting, and engaging with us, because we're only doing this obviously because there's an audience to speak to, and because people, we believe, need to hear this sort of message. So thank you so much, Jo, for sharing with us.
You're very welcome.
So okay, so we'll see you again soon for another episode. And check us out, check our website out. Finn was saying it there, www.thewanderingintowellnessproject.com, because it has all of our information about how you guys can work with us as well, one-to-one. You can see all the back catalogue of all our podcasts and all the upcoming news and events and that kind of stuff as well. So do check it out, because we're really proud of it. Only just launched.
Yeah. It hasn't lost its shine.
No, we're really excited. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.